Okay, so what we need to do here is we need to fit the door belt onto the door trim. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll fit the door trim onto the door, and hopefully it should look good. They're pretty impressive looking door trim really from Winter Products. So like this is the other one that we've unpacked, so pardon the mess, I've got stuff everywhere. But like, yeah, you can sort of see that it's an exact replica of what it's supposed to be for a Fairmont trim, so same as the GT. So it's got the holes on the back for where the remote mirror is supposed to go, and also where the door handles or inner door handles go. So yeah, I've fitted one up just as a trial, and they fit perfect. So yeah, they really do. So all you need is the tops of the door trims, so the metal tops. So you use them off the door trims that are on your vehicle, and you send them away, and then they come back looking like this for plenty of money. But they are well worth it. They are absolutely spot on. Got the rear ones already installed, so we'll have a look at the front ones, and then I'll catch up with the whole lot. So all we need to do is put these weather trims on there. So like you get them from Rare Spare, so like it's just a yeah, part that comes from them. So for the coupe and the van, same XABC. So all we need to do is attach these. Originally they're stapled. That's not going to happen. I don't have a stapler that's going to be able to get through metal, so that's not going to happen. So we'll just pop rivet these on. That's what they told me to do. So we'll do that, and then I'll catch up when we're ready to fit it onto the door shell. Okay, so we've got our door trims on. They look really, really good. So they were done by Winter Products, as I said earlier, and they were absolutely mint. They went on, fit like a glove, just like brand new ones. And you can see here that we've got, as we come and zoom in, we've got our remote mirror provision for that one. We've got our Fairmont armrests, the window winders, if I ever can find these bolts. I'm pretty good at misplacing stuff at the moment, so if I ever find those bolts, which I probably happen very, very shortly, they've got to be in a tub marked interior. I'll find those and I can put those on there, front and rear. They'll be all together. We still got the kick panels. We've got to add the grills onto those and fit those for our stereo, so that's looking all pretty good as well. Still got to do the console lid, and we need the surround for the console as well, but the rest of it's looking very, very good. So the rear door trims are fitted as well, so they're looking absolutely mint as well, fit like a glove. And you can see our roof lining. So as I said before, doing roof linings is one of the least favorite jobs I've ever done on cars, especially these bow type ones. They're really temperamental. I've done a handful of them, and usually they are an absolute mission. But you can see on this one, the C panel, where they're usually really, really average, you get wrinkles and all sorts. That fit absolutely brilliantly. A1 roof linings, they said that it would fit like a glove, and they've never had any complaints. Usually you take that with a grain of salt, because a lot of the stuff, Rare Spares in particular, say that their stuff, oh no, we never have a problem with it, no one ever comes and like you end up fighting it to make it fit. This thing absolutely just went together like you wouldn't believe. I was so happy with the way that it went together. The only critical part of it when you're doing them is make sure that the bows go in the right spot. So once you've got that, the rest of it is really, really simple. The other trick that I did as well, that I didn't catch on camera because it took a lot of effort to get those, and I knew it was going to be a mission, but it actually was okay, is fit all the screws where they belong before you actually go and fit the roof lining. That way you can just push on it and you know exactly where the holes are for those screws. Otherwise, like, yeah, it's a little bit like trying to mine for bits and pieces and trying to find where those little holes are, and you'll never actually get them in the right spot. So made it really, really easy. So you can see we've got the rear screen in as well. Looking over the other side on the other sail panel or C-pillar trim, you can see there's no bunching or anything like that. It's got a little bit of a bulge where the padding goes for the C-pillar trim, and that's just normal. That's how they were from factory, so I'm not overly concerned with that one. So trying to keep this as factory original as possible. Fix it up a little bit where required, where they're really poor, but you know, for a 1975 vehicle, that's just how they were, and I'm not overly concerned with it. It's better than it was when I first got it, and it had the original roof lining in it anyway, so really happy with that. So if you need a roof lining, A1 is where you go for that. The trim itself, so looking at the seats, still need to fit the console lid, do that in due course, and also the console surround. But the actual trim itself, so this was a B2 trim, which meant that it was cloth trim. You can see that I probably need to get the vacuum onto that one. It shows up awesome in the camera light, not so well in the darkness of the shed. So yeah, so that was done by Western Street Trim, and they've done a marvelous job just putting all that together for me. So the rear seat with the armrest, looking over here, looking absolutely mint. And what we can see, kinda, the sunlight's not exactly the best for recording, unfortunately. We'll see if we can get a better sort of view. I'll just sort of zoom out a little bit, and I'm not going to get much better than that, but anyway, that's all right. We'll come in here, and hopefully it's a little bit better and you can sort of see what's going on. Apologies for the camera work. Trying to climb over the car now that it's got all the trim in is not the easiest thing to do. Oh, that's probably the best angle there for it. See if we can do something. No, that's about as good as it gets. The seat belts have all been reconditioned, so that was done by a mob over in Perth called Seatbelt Solutions. So you can see over here we've got the thing. So the best part with Seatbelt Solutions is they do aircraft seat belts, and they're the only ones that can do the ADR tags on them as well, so it's fully compliant. So I know there's a few places, there's a joint up in Sydney and a couple in Melbourne that can actually do or re-web the seats. And if you read the fine print though, what they do tell you is that it's only good for show. Even though they'll hold up, the stitching of them is pretty good, but they're not actually street legal, so they won't actually pass a roadworthy, especially in Victoria where this car is. So that's pretty much it as far as the roof lining and the interior go. We're all pretty much complete apart from the kick trims and the console lid, the window winders and the console surround, but the dash top is in and looking pretty good. So just go and show you that. So that fits all okay. So this is a really nice original one that I've had put away for the best part 21 years. So it doesn't have any cracks or anything like that in it, so it's not a recover. This is the genuine article, so it fit as good as it fits. And it was the entire dash itself, because like one thing that you will find, so if you find a really nice dash top, I will say this, they do have a tendency of having dash tops that have been sitting around for a while, particularly when they're not the original dash top for the dash frame. They do get bent in slightly different areas and that, and they get trained over many years to be sitting on that particular dash frame, so therefore they don't really transpose all that easily from car to car. If you're going to do it, try your best to get the frame and the top at the same time. I know it's a lot easier said than done on these things now that they're so old, but that's the only reason that this thing fits so nice, because it was the dash frame and the dash top that I had together. You can see as we go in there, we've got the dummy radio fascia, like 8-track fascia, so it looks all original in there. We've got our original switches that have been restored. Our steering wheel's been restored as well, so that was done by the Rimblow Restorations bloke over in New Zealand, so he did a really good job of that. And yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. The other part that's kind of different on this vehicle is we've got a, the guys with a keen eye will know that that's not the original reverse mirror that was fitted to this vehicle. This one is electrochromatic, so in other words, it's itself dimming mirror, and it's also got a reverse camera built into it, so when you put the thing in reverse, and I'll show you that in a second, it will actually have a reverse camera that comes up and covers a third of this screen, so you can see behind you, because people who know these cars and drive them will know that you can't see out the back of them. They are absolutely shocking. I think it was Fred Gibson that coined the phrase "a prick of a thing to see out of," and he was dead right. They are an absolute shocker. So as there's little kids around this area and in my street, I decided that the best thing to do would be putting a reverse camera in there so I can actually see behind me, because like, I'd hate to have an accident like that. That'd be terrible. Back in the 70s, I suppose they weren't really thinking too much about that, but that's one part of it. And the other thing that it's got as well is it comes with its own dash cam, which is really handy. So if there's any accidents or anything like that, yeah, we can get that footage so we can make proper insurance claims. Also makes the insurance a little bit cheaper as well, which is, I suppose, a secondary part. It's not that you'd be able to replace this thing all that easily, but yeah, anyway, that's part of it. And the other thing it's got is it's got a shock sensor in there as well, so if someone was to sideswipe it, try to break into it or whatever, it starts recording, which is really handy. And I've also got a GPS in the vehicle, so I'm not too sure what would happen if it got knocked off. I don't know who'd be quicker at the scene, and I don't know who the thugs would, or the thieves would rather see, myself very angry trying to get my car back, or the police. So we're not too sure, but either way we'll be able to find it. So yeah, so that's buried somewhere where they'd have to take half the car apart to try to relocate, or try to find, so that they could knock it off properly without me knowing. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, apart from, yeah, still got the scuff plates to go, so we'll get there. All the insulation's in, everything's looking good. The T-bar, got it all re-chromed and looking pretty, so that's all good. So yeah, made up a really nice linkage for the AOD, so that works absolutely brilliantly. So we've got park, reverse, neutral, drive, 1, 2. So yeah, so perfect. So even though these things are a 4-speed and everything else, yeah, you can only put them in first gear, second gear and third gear, and then the overdrive of course just kicks in when it wants to. So that's all good. Yeah, so not much else to really say apart from the fact that I think that's looking pretty good. So anyway, leave your comments, like, share and subscribe if you liked it. I know it's been a while since I've got a video out, but hopefully it was worth it. Maybe it was for me anyway. So we got this thing going, so it's been a long time coming, waiting for parts and finally getting a chance to break lockdown and actually do stuff on the car. So yeah, there's the interior all done, and the parcel shelf in as well, so all looking good. So only a little bit left and we're all good. The next thing that we got to do is try to fit this radiator and try to start the beast. So stay tuned, we'll get that happening next week, and hopefully it starts. If not, it will be a video full of swearing. But anyway, enjoy guys, and stay safe, and we'll see you on the next one. Okay, so this is what happens when we go into reverse. So mind the noise of the fuel pump and everything else. We'll go into reverse, and you can see there that we got a reverse camera, sort of, maybe. There you go, no worries, happy days. And then out and gone.